Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging with a whole bunch of nerds today.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Ted.
Nathan Nerdarchy.
And today we will be revisiting Unearthed Arcana with the revised Ranger.
If you want to jump down the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So this past week, we had another nice little drop from Chris Perkins and Mike Morales over at Wizards of the Coast, and we were getting the Unearthed Arcana Ranger Revised. One of the cool things that reading this is that they really delved into the fact that they understand there's a problem and the players are dissatisfied, and they really point out the fact that it's not just that the Ranger's underpowered, because there's other classes that seem a little underpowered, but players aren't
having fun playing.
We get a whole page of commentary on their processes and their thought patterns and really their views about how unsatisfied people are with the Ranger. Because you don't get in a Ranger until page 2. This is just
page 1.
Page 1.
Yes.
Although I will say, if I'm writing something, if the thing I want to get to, the other topic, is just barely on the page, I might try to stretch out that other thought. Because, if the Ranger was just barely on there, I would probably try to pad it out
another 5 lines there if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't stretch it to complete the paragraph, or add an extra paragraph. I just felt what they put here, it made sense. I didn't feel like there was any extra content thrown in to fill the page. What they said made sense, and it shows that they care.
Some of the things that they said on here was, one, this is not the final form. There will be another. But this is a playtest like Unearthed Arcana, and they also said this is legal in
organized play.
Yeah. So they're suggesting that DMs let players switch to this Ranger in their games, and that either one is viable in organized play. And what they also said pretty much is the old Ranger will never completely go away. It is part of the game now. But this other option at some point will be introduced so that people that are dissatisfied with playing the Ranger can play this instead.
Ranger 2.0.
Yeah, pretty much. And, one of the cool things they did is, more thematic than anything with the archetypes, is they created these conclaves going, you're not a man in the wilderness by yourself. You're actually part of an organization, right, or brotherhood, and they call them conclaves.
Conclave, yep.
So the little change of terminology there, from to distinguish it from, say, a fighter or all the other archetype sort of based classes.
Yes. With that, so then we get into the actual Ranger class itself, not the conclaves, but the base class, where they actually made some changes.
So right off the bat, they added favorite enemy, and I know some people like yourself, Dave, are very much against the whole concept of, well, I'm a Ranger, that means I hate things.
But it's back.
Well, they didn't love it. They didn't add. They modified the existing favorite enemy, because favorite enemy before was a decorative ability, essentially.
Right. It's a ribbon ability that was there before. Now I actually do more damage when I hit those things.
Yeah. See, before it was you were very knowledgeable about other things, and they did call it a favorite enemy. But here it says no, you're actually better at killing them.
Right.
Well, you're going to know their tactics. You're going to know.
It's like a micro sneak attack. It's just I know their anatomy pretty well. I know where to hit them.
Literally, it says you have significant experience studying, tracking, hunting, and even taking to a certain type of enemy commonly encountered in the wilds.
Yeah. So we do. Our Rangers now do more damage against their favorite enemy.
Right. So with Rangers already having a little bit of a one-up on a lot of the classes with doing damage, this is now stacked up on that. Call it what you will. But for me, the thing that really blew my mind that I think some people are going to dip into Ranger for, that first level, it's all right, Natural Explorer.
Well, before you get to Natural Explorer, let's finish with favorite enemy.
Sure.
Because before you got the language for your favorite enemy as a bonus language, but now you just get a bonus language.
Right.
And again, a favorite enemy at 6th level, damage goes from +2 to +4, and you get another favorite enemy to add to the list, as well as another bonus language, your choice, doesn't have to be related to the favorite enemy at all. You could speak Swedish if you want.
I also think it's significant that you could take favorite enemy humanoids. Not even a humanoid race, like, say, goblinoids, But humanoids, anything bipedal, has a culture.
Previous edition or previous version of the Ranger literally was, if you choose humanoid, pick two, and you get their languages.
Right. Yeah. And you have advantage to track them or whatever. But yeah, humanoids is huge. Like that is a massive change to the rule set.
Another thing is they split up favorite enemy so that you can't pick dragons at first level, but you can for the 6th level ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and thematically that makes sense. Like at 6th level or 1st level, you're not hunting dragons.
Yeah.
You definitely are not good at fighting them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get an extra +2 to damage or not.
And aberrations is also in that second list. I mean, no abelisks at first level. So
Very true.
So there is all of that. Now, go ahead. Natural
All right, so
Explorer.
going to Natural Explorer, which I think there are a lot of people who are going to dip, because you only need the 1 level to get this. You ignore difficult terrain, advantage on initiative rolls, and on your first turn during combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not acted yet. And then there's other stuff that goes along with that as well. But that small little block right there, in 1 level, that's a lot of power, in my opinion.
Well, coupled
Especially
with
'cause it's also
favorite,
first.
coupled with favorite enemy, like the rogue assassin that dips for 1 level of ranger, if not 2. It become pretty nasty with the advantage on initiative. It's just like I just make sure to follow them out into the wilds. Yeah, and actually too, per verbiage, it doesn't even specify that you have to be in a wild terrain by raw, not necessarily by RAI. The rules.
Yeah, this one ability gives you what 9. This one feature gives you 9 abilities, and 3 of them there is no really requirements for using.
The other ones are specifically related to while you're moving through the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
The other stuff, it's just nope. You get these 3 abilities that I really think just the advantage on initiative checks is awesome. But then coupled with the if you go first, you then get another advantage. That's pretty major in my opinion.
It's kind of overwhelming in its power. One of the things we had talked about, because originally Natural Explorer, it required you to pick specific terrains.
Mm-hmm.
I think that needs to go back into being swamp, grassland, underdark, whatever. Like,
And you're just really good there.
Yeah, and you kick ass in those settings, but to make this so blanket, and especially to or they at least need to go back into the text and say in a natural setting or something, because those 3 abilities are just way too good.
yeah, if they split it up and made you choose like forest, swamp, whatever, and then you get to that 1st, 6th, 10th. What's that? Those are the Natural Explorer's original split. Is 1st, 6th,
Right.
and 10th.
And you have a handful of them. Yeah, that would probably be more reasonable. And I suspect they'll probably go with something like that in a later iteration.
Yeah, or maybe they maxing out to have like 3 different terrains that you're kick ass at would be kind of nice. So
Yeah, because right now, as it reads, I mean, I could ignore difficult terrain in a broken down house.
yeah,
Or
From
like,
spells.
yeah.
well, yeah, there's that.
There's that too. Yeah.
It's not even natural difficult terrain, like a rock scramble or something. It's just bam there.
You're like, what is it, Edward's Black
Tentacles.
Yeah, isn't that great difficult terrain? And you just as a ranger, no, I actually run across the tentacles.
Now, if somebody
Parkour.
if somebody summons Everett Black tentacles in a forest, and I have natural terrain forest, then I would say, maybe.
Well, it might be cool because
Because you could
maybe
just
you're
jump up
bouncing
into a
around
tree
trees
and
and stuff.
yeah, cool stuff like that. But if they just summon it in a 10 by 10
Tavern.
space
In
in
a
a tavern,
tavern, yeah.
you're like, all right,
Parkour.
I'm not used to parkouring in the tavern.
So fighting styles are pretty much exactly the same as what's written in the books. And then we move on to spellcasting,
It's actually the same.
which is another breakdown. So primeval awareness, is that something that's new as well?
It's not new, but it has vastly changed.
Okay.
So that's definitely worth mentioning, and it's better. It's not so much that it's better; it's more thematic and makes more sense. It now is basically the ability to speak with, understand, communicate, and affect wild creatures, beasts. Where before it was like, oh, I know if undead's in the forest with me. Oh, and it also gives you the ability to go. You're like, yeah, there's definitely orcs 3 miles that way because they're your favorite enemy.
Right. It allows you to pinpoint your favorite, or not pinpoint, but it allows you to determine if your favorite enemy is there. And it says it reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance in miles from you. If there's multiple groups, it tells you.
Yeah, because in the prior version it was much weaker. It specifically says this feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. So it's like everything it says. No, it's the reverse of that. Actually,
and I think
you know what they have
spell slot,
and then spell slot.
and here it's just the
Here
minute.
it's just I gotta take time and concentrate, which it's concentrating as per spell. So if you're in combat, not a good idea to be working.
How long
on
can you concentrate for it?
It takes a minute.
Or no? How long is the duration of the concentration? Does it?
I don't think it gives that information.
You have to concentrate for a minute.
And you get the information.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. So then from there
Well,
we go.
There's one difference that they've added to it. That's a restriction. It said you cannot use this ability against a creature that you have attacked within the past 10 minutes, which is not in the original. But the original also wasn't giving you a whole bunch of other stuff about it.
Yeah. So
I
you
don't know if
can't-
you like shoot a guy and miss. You can't just be like, oh, primeval awareness. I can follow you now.
No. It was about the communication aspect in that. It was saying that you
okay.
can't. If you attack
that's the
something,
beast companion.
you can't talk to them essentially.
Okay,
Right.
you can't use it against a creature you attacked. Okay,
Correct.
but you could use it to stalk a creature that you just attacked.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
You just can't
As
make
long
friends
as-
with them after you hit him over the head with a
Oh,
club.
okay. No,
As-
that makes sense.
You could use that if it's your favorite enemy to kind of stalk in their
Okay.
direction.
So you can fire at somebody, hit them or miss, they run off, and you use primeval awareness.
So, favorite enemy. There was another ability that we didn't mention from the greater favorite enemy, and that is the fact that you now get advantage on spells and abilities used by your favorite enemies.
Right. So the saving throws.
Yeah, as a saving throw. So yeah, that's another bump. So, favorite
Favorite enemy
enemy.
got massively better.
Yeah.
Because it is a very meh ability for being kind of a both favorite enemy and natural explorer are kind of meh abilities to start out with. I think they went maybe a little too far, but if they can find a middle ground,
yeah, I
think
feel
that'd
like
be
for the 5th edition Ranger, they wanted to go away from using that as like a combat thing.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were trying to make the Ranger probably more like an Aragorn instead of like the traditional 3rd edition Ranger, where my special powers are really just to hate everything.
It's a really sweet ability. It's like you're an Earth of Vengeance Paladin.
Yeah, so they're like, we have that. We don't need the Ranger.
Yes,
anymore.
Aragorn. He lays down, puts his head on the rocks, and he knows where the orcs are. That was his primeval awareness happening.
Nice.
Awesome.
Maybe that's exactly where they were inspired when they rewrote that.
Yeah.
It's like they're that way. Let's go. Because maybe it was about a minute. So you get your enclave, your conclave. You get your ability score increase. Dave brought up the greater favorite enemy. Then we jump to 8th level. Now you can use a bonus action to take the dash action. So
And that's new, right? They didn't have that before.
that's
What did they
definitely-
get at 8th level before?
8th level before.
Landstride.
Landstride, which is kind of wrapped up in Natural Explorer.
Yeah, they get it at first level.
At first level, right. So.
And they don't have to bother with things like natural terrain.
Yeah.
And you would also get advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to stop your movement.
Oh yeah, so they don't get that anymore. Yeah,
Well,
they're-
doesn't it? Well, yeah. So they get away from entangle at 8th
Yeah,
level as
yeah.
well. So.
So, but that being said, it's definitely a way better trade-off there.
I mean, just to be able to essentially double your movement if you're doing anything solo, your speed is essentially doubled. So that's pretty amazing.
Then hide in plain sight got a rework. They're not using the same one they used in the original Ranger, as well as I believe the original Ranger and the Rogue probably shared the same hide in plain sight.
Now
which
it's different.
Now it's different, which I kind of like the idea that they each have their way of doing it. So it's a pretty big deal too. Like instead of having advantage or something like that, you actually give a -10 to Wisdom Perception checks against you.
Which is super.
Which is completely different. That's almost like, a -10 is literally double disadvantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that works out.
If you were able to stack disadvantage, yes, that's a. And then if you can figure out a way to give them disadvantage as well,
Cast camouflage.
yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you could literally stack disadvantage with that. So
You take your action to say I'm going to not move, and that counts as your hide roll, and you still roll it, and then anyone who's attempting to see you either with passive or by rolling suffers a -10 to their roll.
now the one thing I will say that it is a little bit different is that you have to stay still. You can't move.
Yeah.
So it is a kind of a limiting factor there. But again, it works really well. So there's that.
So then we move on to 14th level, Vanish. You can hide as a bonus action, and you can't be tracked by non-magical means unless you purposefully choose to leave a trail.
Actually, I'm reading it. It's pretty much the exact. Vanish is the exact thing.
Okay.
Thing. So yeah, that really hasn't changed. Feral senses, I think, is pretty similar too, right?
It says you gain preternatural senses that help you fight creatures you can't see. When you attack a creature you can't see, your inability to see it doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls. You're also aware of the location of any invisible creature within 30 feet.
So that one again.
And Foe Slayer is still lame, right?
Yeah, Foe Slayer is about the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, we actually going to the conclaves. Now, I will say we only really need to cover 2 of the conclaves because the hunter really doesn't change anything.
It's not substantial at all as far as the changes.
And also, in my opinion, that's fine. I felt the hunter ranger wasn't a bad deal at all. They're fairly effective. It's just that the early levels, like you're getting those ribbon abilities that aren't that great.
So now you actually have things that kind of help you keep you alive. As a hunter that's going in and mixing it up,
You stay cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you're saying the general ranger has gotten better combat, so that the hunter
He's even better.
Okay, I was like, the hunter gets ribbon abilities. What?
Yeah.
I was
No,
misunderstanding.
the general ranger.
All right.
All right, so the beast conclave. This is the one where you get an animal companion, and for starts, you still get a fairly smaller, weak creature.
Well, can we say what you really become when you take on this conclave? You basically become a Pokemon trainer and work up to being an expert Pokemon trainer. You're really good with your Pokemon.
There you go. They level up.
You're only one.
You evolve them.
Yeah, but you only get one.
So now it actually costs 50 gold and 8 hours work to actually convince a animal to become your companion. After that time, you form a bond.
No. After that time, you own their freaking soul, and they cannot escape you no matter what.
Quite literally, you can resurrect them back from the dead without a body.
Eventually, yes.
You do some crazy juju. You get them high. You smoke them up
More
because it
like
says
a
something about
spirit-
special
like a
herbs.
animal spirit caller or something.
I think you're like blowing shotguns into the bear's face or
I
something.
feel like you're Elmira from Looney Tunes, but the worst version ever because there's no escape.
Tiny Toons, actually.
Oh, Tiny Toons, yes.
You're
correct.
like the Elmira necromancer.
Yes.
I will call you back.
So you choose something with a challenge of a quarter or less. It generally should be something with 16 or less hit points. And the interesting thing is they now have straight up told you the animal loses its multi-attack.
Yes, but that doesn't matter because I'm taking a mule anyway.
There you
You're
go.
taking a
Yeah,
mule.
just use its most powerful attack.
So just like before, the animal adds your proficiency bonus to attack and damage, and it trades off. It doesn't have multi-attack, but it no longer takes your action to command it to attack. It acts on its own initiative roll and pretty much does what you as the player would want it to do.
Yeah.
You look confused.
Oh, and there's
No, I'm not
kind of a
confused,
trade-off,
I'm waiting.
though. Like, it is worth noting, there is one special thing about the hunter, is the fact that it gets the extra attack ability as part of its conclave.
Right.
Because
Because they kind of stripped it out of the base class.
Yes.
Now, yeah.
Right.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Oh, they took extra attack out of the.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
other
but
two of the
there's a good
conclaves.
reason for it.
Two of the conclaves get it, but
Yeah.
not the beast companion one.
Well,
Okay, so the beast companion's extra attack is the beast.
yes.
All right.
But technically, here's the deal, right? At first level, or not first level, at third level, when you get your beast, you're already out attacking the other rangers
Yeah.
because your
Because-
beast can attack
And you can attack.
and you can attack. But it gets better. Listen,
Your companion winds up getting a trait and a flaw, which you can either pick or choose off of a list.
It becomes more like a secondary character. Is
Indeed.
really what it comes
And
down
its
to.
bond is the ranger that it's bonded to. And then at 5th level, as these guys were talking about, you actually get coordinated attack. So at 5th level, you and your animal companion are a more potent fighting team. When you use the attack action on your turn, if your companion can see you, it can use its reaction to make a melee attack. So at that point in time, you're still stripping out the others because you're attacking once, your animal companion is attacking once, and as long as it can see you, it uses its reaction to attack another time. So that's 3 attacks. If you're going with the 2-weapon fighting thing, you could use your offhand to attack again, using your bonus actions. So that's 4 attacks that you could be doing if you're mixing it up in melee with your animal companion.
And it also it's really good. Like this ranger, this beast companion ranger, actually all the rangers I feel like now are really good at using the actions. So like there are certain classes that they have other actions that they're probably not going to get to use, like their bonus action or their reaction. But especially the beast companion, you can use all 4. You can use all your actions every round easily.
Right, action economy, you're cashing in pretty well on them.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, the beast companion is using its reaction to make the attack. So you, as the player, still have your reaction if there's something that you've actually got the ability to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Because what we're saying is, like, it is super hard to get to use your reaction. So to have, not even so. And the fact that you're not even really using your own reaction, so it's kind of nice to
what
consistently
this does?
do.
Know what it does though? It creates means as the ranger, you might want to go polearm fighter and take sentinel and polearm master so that you get to use your reaction more often, and combined with your beast, that's going to be a nasty combo.
And you also get, you'll be able to offhand attack with the bonus action at the other end of it, so that makes sure that you're getting maximum amount of attacks. So you can kind of really cage things in really nicely with that in that regard. So that's interesting.
So then we go on to 7th level, where when your companion can see you, it has advantage on all saving throws. It's already adding your proficiency bonus to its saving throws.
They've basically made it super hard. Like, they made it super hardy. Like, all these things are there to help it just survive and thrive. Yeah.
So, as Dave says, you're training the animal to be awesome, and all these things all stack together. As we talk about, you've got the ability that if it dies, you could shove this thing into lava, and there's no body left, and you spend your time and your gold, and you create a new body for this thing magically, and poof, it's back. No harm, no foul.
You know what? They really needed this on the show Dinosaurs. So this way we could always have another Timmy.
Yeah. So I note to self: don't let Ted play a Beast Conclave ranger. He's just going to shove his animal companion into lava all the time. What the hell's wrong with you, man?
I had 50 gold burn a hole in my pocket.
Yeah.
Lava, Sphere of Annihilation.
He's going to see how he can
go check out what's around that corner. But the problem, you're down for a good segment of combat when your beast dies, though.
That is true.
Because you're just kind of like
super...
I spent all my time being an awesome teacher.
No, there's nothing to put in front of me.
So then we get to 11th level, and this is where it gets ridiculous. Storm of Claws and Fangs. When your animal companion makes when it chooses to use the attack action, it can attack anything within 5 feet of it. And it makes a separate attack roll for each attack.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
That's a super upgrade compared to the original Bestial Fury, which is it can make 2 attacks when you command it when it uses the attack action.
Right. Now it's surrounded. Okay, well I claw all of it. Oh, wait a second, it can still see me, so therefore it can use its reaction to make yet another attack.
Yeah.
So
you say surrounded, I say target rich environment.
Right, yeah. Well, and then also too, let's be honest, right? Like the hunter gets that ability too. The hunter ranger can attack. He gets a whirlwind attack essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Attack. So it basically is just like, yeah, let's just give it to the animal companion too.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that
it's a serious upgrade for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And then we get to 15th level. Whenever an attacker that your companion can see hits it with an attack, and you can use its reaction to half the attack's damage. So
it gets uncanny dodge, basically. Yeah. It gets like the rogue's uncanny dodge.
Right. So you can trade off. Well, crap, that really hurt. Well, I can either use my reaction to half that damage, or I can save my reaction and have my companion attack it.
Yeah, I would see it. More than likely, I would at that point I would be saving my reaction because at 15th level it's going to get hit with nasty stuff.
Yes,
it's going to.
Well, yeah, but it's also has the hit dice that have been growing.
That's a major thing to talk about because we didn't cover it. Is the animal companion advances in level? Yeah. We didn't talk about that. That it gets stat increases as per the ranger does. It gets hit points from beyond 3rd level. It gets more hit points.
So when you level up at 4th, it gets another hit.
It's only going to be
Yeah.
1 or 2 hit die behind
Yeah.
the actual ranger.
Yeah, and it gets skills.
Well,
it gets skills too. Wow.
2 skills,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So that's kind of neat. We were joking off camera a little bit about the idea of having an 8 intelligence ranger, and you take a chimpanzee and you keep increasing its intelligence, and you make the chimpanzee, give it 2 intelligence-based skills, 2 knowledge skills, and you make that the scholar, and you're kind of the companion of the chimpanzee. Like a Tarzan type character.
And you've convinced yourself you're not intelligent enough to understand its language.
Yeah. So
It's like he speaks beyond me.
yeah, exactly. Is really what it
So-
comes down to.
So ultimately, I think the Beast Companion Ranger, the Beast Conclave, if you will, is a massive upgrade from what's in the books. Our book, I don't think there's anything that it got before that you're like, oh, but I miss such and such. Am I right?
Yeah, no, there is none of that.
Yeah, we can just close this book.
I think we're-
Well,
Right.
at that point in
much.
time, yes, we finished the Beast Companion. We don't even need to touch on the Hunter because it's basically already there.
It's pretty
It's
much
just now
unchanged.
more slaughter when it comes to its
Yeah,
favorite
like
enemies.
the only thing noteworthy is the fact that it gets extra attack and the Beast Companion Ranger Conclave does not.
So that moves on to
Deepstalker.
the Deep Stalker Conclave, and that's for the people who want to kind of be in the Underdark, or for us, the Beneath.
It is, but it really is only like one ability that really speaks to that.
So yeah, I was saying that I feel like if they would have just called it some sort of advanced scout or something like that, like all the abilities are very much just like a skirmishery sort of first contact sort of ranger character.
Well,
and that's fine.
There's 2 abilities that speak to I'm at home in the Underdark, and that is you get dark vision if you don't have it, or your dark vision improves, and the fact that you can actually hide from those that have dark vision,
Right.
as basically
As if they didn't have it.
Yeah, so that part's pretty cool.
That's
like,
a serious advantage. for
you're
the
like
Underdark.
in the Predator movie, you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger after you rub the mud all over himself.
Yeah. Oh man, just thinking muscle mass alone in that movie.
So at 3rd level, as we mentioned, you get those abilities, but the Underdark Scout, which this has nothing to do with the Underdark, but is way cool. The first time that you act, you get an extra 10 feet to your movement, so you can pull the Blitz, and not only that, you get an extra attack action. Or not an action, an extra attack, right, if you take the attack action. This is really important because at 2nd level or 3rd level, you're getting 2 attacks around, essentially.
You know what I'm
in the
thinking?
First round.
Wood Elf, Monk, Mobile Feet, Flurry of Blows, and that. Yeah, I think isn't that all legal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It would be
you just
disgusting.
go. Yeah, that would just be nasty. So you kind of dip in this. Oh wow!
All right, so you need to be 3rd level to get to this. What levels give you that for Monk?
Level 1.
Level 1,
Yeah, there you go.
So
Four-
low level
four
character, you
levels.
can be pretty
4th
cool
level
looking.
character.
Oh no! But although to get the feet, you need to go up to 4. So I would go 4 Monk. So and then 1 of that. Well, so
No,
we'd have to weigh it out. But
well,
it'd
you
be
do
interesting.
one Monk, 4 of this.
For a ranger, yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you're a 5th level character,
Yeah.
And you also get the spells and moving right along with it. Blah blah blah.
so there are at 3rd level when you take the Deep Stalker magic, which improves your dark vision, you actually do get new spells that are added to your list, and you get Disguise Self, Rope Trick, Glyph of Warding, Greater Invisibility, and Seeming as you gain levels, and these are added to your Ranger list.
spells known,
Which is really nice, considering you don't really get a lot of ranger spells.
Yeah. Okay. So they are part of spells known.
Yes,
Because
spells known. These don't count against you.
yeah, because the ranger, what he
This is-
suffers from is they only get so many spells known, and that's kind of a hard tax. So just having extra spells added to your list is massive.
Yeah, this
so
is like
you're
a
a lot.
40%.
You become a lot more magic-y and castrate, basically, is what this is saying.
It says once you gain a Deep Stalker spell, it counts as a Ranger spell for you, but doesn't count against the number of Ranger spells you know.
yeah,
That's sweet.
yeah, that's intense.
So they get extra attack.
5th level, that as per Hunter and Fighter, you get to 5th level. All right, I'm swinging again. Coupled with your Underdark Scout, you're now swinging 3 times on those
On that round.
first round. 7th level, you get Iron Mind. You gain proficiency in Wisdom saving throws. I think that's pretty sweet. Not a lot of classes get extra proficiencies as you go.
Especially for all the nasty things that do bad things to your mind.
In the
Yeah,
Underdark.
absolutely.
Although there is one thing I want to check. On your first turn during combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not yet acted. So So if you go first, and you're that ranger, you're getting 3 attacks with advantage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And with basically
At 5th level, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
At 5th level, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm just looking at how that that
Plays out.
That
Six
plays
die
out.
rolls. That's a good chance of getting a crit.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty good, and you're ignoring difficult terrain to get there. You have that extra movement, so yeah,
And you've had
it's a
initiative,
nice
and you had
skill.
advantage on initiative, so you get to go first more often.
Yeah, and if you're using that elven the elven
Wood
elf.
elven wood elf. Yeah, with mobile feet.
yeah, you're gonna have the higher wisdom anyway.
Right. So then we move on to 11th level, where the other ones are getting crazy amounts of stuff. Here, once on each of your turns, when you miss with an attack, you can make another attack. Not as good as the Hunter's Whirlwind or the Beast's, Storm of Claws and Fangs, but
It's not a horrible ability.
it's not horrible. There's lots of times where people are like, crap, I missed. And
There's no
go flying.
action to it or anything like that. Just once around, if you miss, re-roll that attack.
Yeah. Now you do have to use your reaction. Oh wait.
No.
Oh wait.
No,
you use your
no.
reaction to impose disadvantage.
No,
Which one are
no,
we looking at?
number.
Oh, reading the wrong one. Sorry.
Once you attack on each of your turns, when you miss an attack, you make another attack. So, okay, wait a second. What if I use this first? I roll with advantage, and both dice miss. If I'm making another attack and I've got advantage, I'm rolling 2 more dice.
Yeah, it doesn't say make another roll. It says make another attack. So yeah,
Yes.
you roll with advantage again.
So that's pretty sweet. And again, as you guys pointed out, it doesn't cost any of your
action
actions
economy.
to do
Yep.
it. And then at 15th level, whenever a creature attacks you and does not have advantage, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Right. Yeah.
So really, the Beast Conclave and the Deep Stalker Conclave they're really about economizing those actions and using as many of them as possible every round, especially once you level out.
Right.
Yeah. And like Hunter is just beating things down.
Yeah,
But,
he's
like
doing a lot
I
of
also see Deep Stalker as being a lot more like defensively oriented. I mean, it's got some good offense, but as opposed to the Hunter, that kind of like his defense is a strong offense.
Yes.
Where the Deep Stalker has some abilities that's more like, I'm going to try to mitigate the amount of damage I'm taking.
Well, yeah, and the extra saving throw,
Yeah.
proficiency, all that kind of adds up to make him a little more resilient. Well, and the other thing I it's worth pointing out. I don't think I've listened to a couple other videos and no one's pointed this out. One of the things with the Hunter is whenever he's getting all those extra attacks or attacking everything around him, if it happens to be your favorite enemy, well, that's a +4 to damage on all of those attacks.
Yeah.
So if you have 8 things surrounding you, that's an additional 32 points of damage in a round.
Yeah. And then if that version has the mobile feat, you get to walk away from all that stuff because you attacked it all. So
yes.
that's also an amazing thing. I friggin' love the mobile feat. It is so good. Like the idea of just like I'm going to swing at everything, and regardless of whether I hit or not, I get to walk out of here scot-free. I just think that's kind of an amazing feature.
So where one of the areas where the Beast Companion falls behind, and I've said it before, is one, you're not accessing Hunter's Mark through your Beast Companion, and 2, in this case, the favorite enemy damage is on you, not the Beast Companion.
Really? I thought they got it. You sure about that? I think they get the favorite enemy. I think there's something called out specifically that says...
There was definitely, they share the trait where they're able to move. But I'm not positive. I could be wrong. There's a possibility that it's happened once or twice. And I believe Ted is looking it up
fiercely.
You guys on the video would be like, "He's so wrong. I got it right here in my brain memorized." These Nerdarchy guys messing everything up. When using Nature Explorer feature, you and your animal companion have both stealthily at normal pace. So I see that's the thing that they share.
Your animal companion gains the benefits of your favorite enemy feature and of your greater favorite enemy feature when you gain that feature at 6th level. It uses the favorite enemy you selected for those features.
Yeah.
Now that part's important, but they don't get the hunters. They can't use Hunter Mark through it.
Right.
Because it's a self spell, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although, we probably would have got way more comments on the video if we left it there, left being wrong, and then everybody can say, "You're
It's
wrong."
okay. People who are listening to it have already started typing.
Yeah, they're in there anyway. Oh, damn it! They mentioned it.
Yeah.
Edit.
Yeah.
So with that, have you guys looked at this yet? If not, you should. There will
Definitely
be-
worth a look.
Dave will put the link down in the description so you can check it right out.
As long as he remembers.
Yeah.
But with that, you guys comment. Let us know what you think while you're at it. Like, share, and subscribe.
Check us out over on Facebook.
You can check us out over on nerdarchy.com.
And while there, visit the store.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.
Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging with all bunch of nerds today.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Ted.
Nathan Nerdarch.
And today we will be revisiting Unearthed Arcana with the revised Ranger.
If you want to jump down the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So this past week, we had another nice little drop from Chris Perkins and Mike Morales over at Wizards of the Coast, and we were getting the Unearthed Arcana Ranger revised. One of the cool things that I reading this is that they really delved into the fact that they understand there's a problem and the players are.
Yeah, if the Ranger was like just barely on there, like
Well,
I
that'd
would,
be weird.
I would probably try to pad it
Another
out
5
too.
lines there if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't stretch it to complete the paragraph, or add an extra paragraph. I just felt what they put here, it made sense. I didn't feel like there was any extra content thrown in to fill the page. What they said made sense, and it
also-
shows that they care.
Some of the things that they said on here was, one, this is not the final form. You know, there will be another.
There's another form.
But this is a play test like Unearthed Arcana, and they also said this is legal in
Organized play.
organized play. You know, so they're suggesting that DMs let players switch to this Ranger in their games.
Distinguish it from, say, a fighter or all the other archetype sort of based classes.
Yes.
So
With that, so then we get into the actual Ranger class itself, not the conclaves, but the base class where they actually made some changes.
So right off the bat, like they added favorite enemy, and I know some people like yourself, Dave, are very much against the whole concept of, well, I'm a ranger, that means I hate things,
But it's back.
but it's back.
Well, they
Like it,
didn't
love it.
They didn't add. They modified the existing favorite enemy, because favorite enemy before
I mean,
was
favorite
a
enemy is here.
decorative ability essentially.
Right.
It's a
was
ribbon ability.
ribbon ability that was there before. Now
Satisfied, and they really point out the fact that it's not just that the Ranger's underpowered, because there's other classes that seem a little underpowered, but players are happy to play.
aren't having fun playing.
we get a whole page of commentary on their processes and their thought patterns, and really their views about how unsatisfied people are with the Ranger. Because it you don't get in a Ranger until page 2. This is just
Page 1.
page
the
page
forward of-
1.
forward thing.
Although I will say, if I'm writing something, if the thing I want to get to, the other topic, is just barely on the page, I might try to stretch out that other thought, because like.
And that either one is viable in organized play. And what they also said pretty much is the old Ranger will never completely go away. It is part of the game now. But this other option at some point will be introduced so that people that are dissatisfied with playing the Ranger can play this instead. And,
Ranger 2.0.
yeah, pretty much. And, you know, one of the cool things they did is, you know, more thematic than anything with the archetypes, is they created these conclaves going, you know, you're not a man in the wilderness by yourself. You're actually part of an organization or brotherhood, and they call them conclaves.
Conclave, yep.
So the little change of terminology there from the